How's everybody? I'm disappointed. Obviously disappointed in yesterday's performance. Again, I thought our defense battled well. As I watched the tape, there's a few plays that I'm sure our defense wish they had back, but they battled hard. I thought the offense battled hard. We just didn't make the plays when they were there. We couldn't get much going in the running game. We had some chances in the passing game. We gotta make those. We gotta hit those plays. I kept, when you watch the game, as we all did today, this game is still 10-7, in the fourth quarter, we're driving and we got opportunities, and then things just kind of rear their ugly head. And then even after that, our defense gave us another opportunity, and our special teams, when the game was 13-7, and we still had an opportunity. So we just got to learn how to finish. What I felt and what I told our team today, and especially our offensive team, is we got to make those plays. We have to learn to make those plays. It doesn't matter how young we are. When those plays present themselves, you got to make them. And I think our guys, that was really an eye-opener especially on offense, for our offensive football team, because they were plays to be made. And what we can't do, we can't melt at those times. That's when guys got to really step up and make plays. Now, you got to be in position to do that and learn how to do that, because I think what has happened here over the years, going on 2 years now, we haven't won very much. So that's a trait we have to learn how to do. It's so obvious to me. But I thought that everybody got a chance to see that. Again, our team plays hard. They play extremely hard. They try. But trying and playing hard in the National Football League just gives you a chance. You gotta do it, and that's just the way this league is. And I think our players, to a man, can see that more and more. But it's going to take a little more than what we are doing, and in these critical moments, because we've been in a lot of these close games. Heading sometime into the fourth quarter, late into the third, and when those plays present themselves, you're going to have to make them in this league, and that's just kind of where we are. So. Again, I like our guys. Our guys are gritty. They're resilient. They fight. We have to learn how to win. Okay, and it's just that simple. On the injury front, I'm sure you guys know about Emmanuel Agba. He'll be out for the season. He'll have surgery. Jamie Meter has a high ankle sprain. We'll know more about that as we go. And then Sammy Coates has the knee, and we'll know more about that as we go. So that's where we are from an injury standpoint. It's tough losing Emmanuel, tough losing any of our guys at this time. But, again, that's football, and we'll next man up. We'll find a way to continue to play strong over there on defense and continue to get better throughout this football team.
Yesterday, it seemed like Deshaun really took that loss hard. He talked about that it was one of the first times he's come off the field and not felt like he, developed or took a positive step. What was he like today? We didn't get a chance to talk to him. And do you think he can shake this off quickly?
Oh, he'd shake it off. No, he was good. I mean, he saw the corrections he has to make. I think, being very honest with you guys, I think where that comes from, there were some balls that he missed, and the ball sailed over our guys' heads, and one ended up as an interception. I think he knows that that's not big-time quarterback play, and that's not who he wants to be. So he got to fix those things.
Was that the disappointment? I think it was 10-7 at that point, right?
Yeah.
He had 3 chances to kind of pull that out. So, I don't know, Hugh, how do you, the experience thing is obviously a factor. Is that all you can do, is just keep running these guys out there until they learn how to do it?
Well, that's who we have. So we're going to keep walking them out there, and they got to learn how to do it. And I got to keep putting them in positions to do it. And I think what they felt today, as I was saying earlier, they saw the chances to do it. And so I think when you're in those spots sometimes you feel like you can't. It's not happening for you. But I think they see the opportunity to, and we just got to keep harping on them that they can do it, and they got to go make those plays.
I think he said in some of those moments guys melted. Do you think it's a pressure thing?
I don't think it's pressure. What I think when I say the melting piece of it, when you haven't been, again, let's be honest, we're one in what is this record? 1-25. Lord have mercy. I try not to even think about how many it's been. But let's be honest, you haven't won. And you've been in a lot of close games, but you haven't done it. So I think when those situations come up again, not fear, but needing to make that play, is there. I mean, that's real. And the football team or your teammates or whoever is counting on you, we got guys that should be making those plays. They got to make them, and so Until you do it and get on the other side of it and win, you don't do it. You know, it's just that simple. So that's what I mean by that.
When you look at the numbers, Crowell and Duke Johnson, a total of 13 carries. And you said last night the run wasn't working. So how do you, as a play caller, know it's not going to work, or we got to just keep trying?
Because I get to look at the pictures, I get to see the matchups, I get to see that it's not happening as well, and then the game is slowly going the other way. And so you got to make a decision on how you're going to best win this game. And I think to a man, to a player, they would tell you that we wasn't running the ball very well, and the throws we had that were sitting there, we got to make those too. And we wasn't making those as well neither. You know, so we didn't play as well as we can play on offense, period. So running game, passing game, nowhere. We can play better. I've seen us play better. So it's my job as a play caller to make a decision of what's going to be the best way. And we still continue to try to run the ball. We made a 3rd down and 2 late in that game. That was huge, running the football. Okay, so it's not like I think you guys all think we totally abandoned it, because you watch them just kept running. Well, that's who they were, and their matchups were different. We could try to do that, but we wasn't making. I mean, we were making a yard here and a yard there. That wasn't going to get us towards the end zone that way.
I guess what I'm trying to get to, Hugh, though, is I'm sure in your past, like when you were the Bengals, weren't there games when
There's no question.
That game wasn't?
No doubt.
Wasn't winning, but you still
Where you just be stubborn and you make it happen. I didn't feel that was going to be the best way to get us a victory yesterday. I didn't see that. In order for a play caller to keep running the ball, somebody better inspire the play caller to keep running. A runner, blocking, whatever that is. That wasn't happening yesterday. So we did what we thought was best to give our team a chance to win. And like I said to a man in the locker room, if you asked them, they would say we should have won that game, because there were plays to be made just to make them.
How do you balance that, Hugh, when you got an opposing team that is really effective with a 4-man pass rush, and you also got a left tackle in there who hasn't played a lot?
Right, and I agree with that, Pat. But the thing was, that pass rush really didn't take form until it was winning time for them, being very honest with you, towards the end. That's when it looks like, oh, man, here we go. I mean, they made a decision at the end when we had to throw it. At the end, when we had to do something to try to get points on the board, that all of a sudden they got him down. The other sack that was earlier in the scoring zone when the game was 13-7, that was an assignment error by us. So that's what I'm saying. That had nothing to do with their rush. That had to do with the Browns. And if we do those things better, that's the things as an offensive football team we have to do better. In moments where we know we got to get done what we got to get done, we have to do those things better. And that has nothing to do with running. That has nothing to do with throwing. That has to do with fundamentally understanding your job and doing it as well as you can do it.
Yesterday you said you wanted to see if you were too deep. I think you meant Deshaun was too deep on some of the sacks.
That was the one early. I think it was the one we were trying to throw the ball to Duke. We had Duke kind of open on the right side, and it was a sack. He ended up knocking the ball out of his hand, and he recovered it. So, yes, he was too deep on that one.
Is that just a young guy feeling that pressure? And
No, it wasn't the pressure. That's what I'm saying to you guys. The pressure doesn't happen if he doesn't get too deep. So that's my point. That's the fundamental thing of catching and resetting and not taking a drop that you're not supposed to take. I think that's where his frustration came from. He did some things that he hadn't done for a couple of weeks, you know. So again, that's the young player in him. That's the guy that he has to continue to fight. That's the consistency he has to have. And that's why I'm saying I think sometime when you guys are thinking there's pressure by their front, it might be something that someone else is doing in protection by maybe a back or a quarterback being too deep or some of those things.
You talk about, that some of these guys are melting or just aren't making the plays. I mean, could it be that maybe they're just not good enough?
No, I wouldn't say that, Mary Kay. I would never. I think we have some guys that are good enough. I'm going to say it again. I just think when you haven't won, I'm just being very honest and putting it out there. When you haven't won in the National Football League and you get thrust into that situation, until you do it, you don't do it. And so we've been in those situations, and I can be, very candid with you guys. We haven't done it. So I got to find a way, along with our players, and that's what I told them today, to where we can do it. that's when you got to be at your best. Is at the end when everything, all the chips are on the table now. You got to make those plays. Then you got to make them, and we have to make them as an offensive unit. It starts with me, to them, and through them. We have to do it, and we have to do it better.
Is there something to be said for veteran leadership helping that happen? Because
Oh, no question. I mean, Joe Thomas is not out there. I mean, yeah. What I've said to Deshaun is because obviously the quarterback position is the guy who's the face. True? I think you guys would agree with that. Last week in Detroit, he was up and down that sideline, 100 miles an hour. You can't be different from week to week, okay? You got to be that same guy because they need you, okay? And that's what it is. But he's learning that. And I'm being very honest with you because there isn't a Joe Thomas. They say, hey, guys, let's go. So I put my finger in front of Joe Petonio today and said, Joe, that's what you're going to do, okay? That's what somebody else is going to do that Joe Thomas might have did because it was easy to look down the left side and see Joe and go, okay, well, Joe's not there anymore. So, yeah, I mean, does it need to be our veteran players? Duke Johnson, these guys got to understand, hey, guys, let's go if the quarterback isn't doing it. And it's hard to put on him. He's so young. You know, he really is. He's trying to figure out this protection. He's trying to make sure that the coverage, I mean, he's got a lot on his plate. But that's what he signed up for. And that's what I told him. So he's going to have to do it every week. That's his charge.
We talked to some of the players about the meeting that Jimmy and Dee had with you guys on Monday, and we know that was a leadership council and that you were involved. I mean, can you kind of just give us, what was the message from Jimmy and Dee in it?
No, I think, again, that's internal business, and I'm sure you guys, what the players said is true. And I'm very appreciative that Dee and Jimmy would talk to the players about what they feel and what they see and what they want. I will say this to all involved, that there is a plan in place and they want to win. And they expect this organization to win and for it to be better. And they're going to get it that way. I truly believe that with all my being. It's hard right now for all involved, and people don't get it. I get all that too. And it's hard for me. It's hard for our players. Hard for everybody. But at the same time, when management tells you that we're gonna do this and we're gonna get there and here's the plan, then that says a lot. And it was very appreciative, I think, from the players.
you just
Historical proportions now. I know some of it predates your arrival here, but
No, I'm not running from this. It's part of my arrival, and it pisses me off. I'll be the first to tell you that. I never envisioned this in my life, being 1 in 25 as a head football coach. I don't wish this on anybody. It's not what I want it to be. It's not what the players want it to be. It's not what Dee and Jimmy want it to be. It's not what anybody here wants it to be. But we've earned this. I'm going to say it again. Whatever record we have earned in this organization. And the only thing we can do is do everything in our power to change it. And that's what we have to do.
So we talked about 1 in 25 a couple times now. Do you believe that Jimmy and Dee still trust in this plan?
Yeah, I mean, I think they do. I mean, until they tell you otherwise. Because, I mean, this is where we are. I mean, it's painful. I mean, I'm sure it's painful for them. I'm not trying to answer for them. I think, like I said, I think it's painful for all involved. But at the same time, this is where we are. We're in it. And like I said, there's no new players coming in. There's no new people coming in. So this is where we are. We got to fight our way out. And that's what it is.
That these guys need to learn how to win. What did you guys learn from yesterday in taking that step and trying to?
That you got to make those plays. In those crucial moments, there comes a time in a game, it's not early in the game. Hopefully early in the game you've made enough plays so when later in the game comes, you're ready to finish it, right? That's how football works. But if you're chasing, you're trying to come from behind, the other team has momentum and they're trying to stop you, and you got to take that momentum from them. And you have to make those plays in those key moments. Football is a game of situations. There's all kinds of situations, first down, second down, third down. And when it happens, that's when you have to be at your best. I mean, the real good teams in this league, they make those plays at crucial times. We've been in more football games than any of you probably think we should be. Let's just be honest. We have. And that's because I think we have our players play extremely hard. They do, for the most part, what we ask them to do, and we have very good coaches here. The difference is we haven't got them over the hump to winning in those key moments where they're making those plays consistently in the fourth quarter like they make them in the first quarter. And that's what you have to do to win in this league. The fourth quarter is where you win games in this league, for the most part. There's not a ton of blowouts. There's a few 50-point games every now and then. But for the most part, it comes down to 3 or 4 or 5 plays in a game that makes the difference. And that's what we have to do better.
I know you guys don't have a regular practice today, but because Josh Gordon's eligible, is there any kind of workout tailored to him that he got to do with Al Saunders or anything like that?
There's things I think he did with the quarterbacks today, yes. Mm-hmm.
How eager are you to see him out there Wednesday?
Very, very. It's like Christmas, go open a new toy. I know it's in that box. I just want to see how good it is. But no, it's exciting that he'll be back out there.
If you don't know any other way to ask this.
Asked it straight up.
Do you think the plan's working?
Which plan?
The plan, the overall plan.
I really don't want to get into that. Again, I think you guys are the best judges of that right now. I think everybody speculates on it. This is what I want to do. I want to coach our football team to get better. I think my job is to do everything I can to help these players, these coaches, be the best they can be. And obviously, with a 1-24 record or whatever it is, it's not been pretty good. So that's where I'm going to continue to put my focus and continue to coach this football team and try to get this team as good as we can get it, because we're just not there yet.
I have a follow-up on that. I mean, do you say you won't answer whether you think the plan is working?
Because I don't think the plan that's in place, let me say this, my job is not to say it is or isn't. My job is to coach a football team. That's what I was hired here to do. I wasn't hired here with a plan. I was hired here to coach this football team and get them to be the best I can get them to be. And that's what I want to concentrate on.
But my point is, if you
I'm going to coach this football team, and I'm going to get this football team to be the best it's going to be. I'm not interested in talking about a plan. I don't want to talk about a plan. I want to talk about our football team and coaching this team and getting them better. That's it.
What I'm saying is, if that's your attitude, I mean,
that's my attitude. And my attitude's not going to change. I'm going to keep telling you the same thing. And I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at anybody in this room. But I'm not talking about no plan. I'm talking about coaching our team. That's all I want to do.
My point's going to be, how can you convey to the players if they ask you, hey, is this plan working?
They don't ask me that. They don't ask me that. They ask me about what do we got to do to win, Coach. That's it. So I do everything for those guys. That's what I'm here to do, coach this football team and coach our coaches to be the best we can be. That's it.
So players don't ask you.
There ain't been a player one that asked me anything about a plan, other than what's the game plan for the week. That's it.
They don't say,
No.
hey, coach, what are we doing
No.
here?
No. And again, whatever they felt, that was answered by ownership the other day. You guys mentioned the meeting. So they were whatever that was that they were feeling, I think that group feels better about where they're headed and what we're trying to accomplish.
As far as Josh is concerned, do you guys do anything externally to kind of have somebody with him at all times or anything, or does he have his own support outside the building that?
This is what Josh knows, is that we're always available to him. But I think, again, he's entitled to be a man and make his decisions and do the right thing. And we truly believe and support that he will. He's done everything we've asked him to do thus far. He's working extremely hard. He's excited about being back and about having an opportunity. I know every chance I get to be around him. He was on our sideline yesterday, and it was a treat, just dialoguing with him, the things he saw, the ways he thinks he can help. And to me, that was exciting, But, again, he's doing well, and hopefully that will continue.
Broke new ground up there,
I'm sorry?
Broke new ground up there.
What's that, buddy?
First time we've heard a coach say we're the ones that could judge the plan.
Yeah, you can. You guys can. I get it. Guys, things aren't great. Let's be honest. When it's one like it is, I don't run from that. But I'm not judging the plan. I got a coach.